I wanted to see, where was that picture? Oh, it's on the other wall, isn't it?
Yeah, this one here?
Oh yeah, it's a cool wall. But there's another wall though that I had the picture of in the thumbnail, and it was like a different color. I think it's the orange wall on the other side. But it's all good. Okay, it's cold out here, so we'll go inside. Yeah, see that? It's that one of these walls that are with orange. That is some cold, cold wind. Alright, right here. Alright, let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera around so that everyone can see inside the store. It's actually really cool in here. There's some really cool stuff. Yeah, she's working right now, so.
Okay.
We're videotaping you, doing your job.
My messy cabinet.
This one almost looks like it's
Hey guys, what's going on? Just give her like a few minutes because she's doing her thing, and then we'll get her on camera. She'll come talk to us.
I'll pick out some.
You wanna go look around at some stuff?
Sure. Yeah, if you're not careful with the cricket size, they can get. Where to?
I don't know. Just go look at some stuff. Till she's ready.
Okay. Oh, the ferrets are so cute.
Can you guys see everything okay? And hear everything okay? Like, is the quality alright?
Don't bite me.
Hey guys. Hi. Sticking their little noses through the hole.
So cute.
Thank you, Iridescent, for letting me know. But yeah, awesome. I'm glad it looks good and everything is working. Guinea pigs.
It's a baby.
What's down here? Oh, the dwarf hamsters. They're so tiny. Actually says grab her a ferret. They're so little. Let's go give them some of my coffee and see how fast they can run around the store.
They might be as fast as the Phoenix then.
Probably.
Don't bite me.
Is he biting your finger?
Trying to. That's why I didn't put it the whole way in. He really wants it. Oh.
Alright, let's go get her. And a cool iguana setup too.
Yeah.
She was telling me about this, that she was setting it up I think yesterday or the day before. She was almost done with it.
Looks really
It's
good.
massive.
It is
And there's just one iguana in there, which is awesome. Because usually you see tanks like this big, and there's like 50 million iguanas shoved in there,
Yeah.
all climbing on top of each other. Look at it.
Perfect then. Let it work out. Okay.
And there's some fish back here. Some golds. They're fat. Look how fat that one is. And that one, there's one back there too.
Get a toy.
It's a redfoot. There's a frilled dragon up here too on the branch. Let me try and fix this thing with the chat real quick. We're having a problem.
That's funny. She said she'd never buy fish again.
I think so, you got two. David's like, I'll buy the tank. You gotta fill it. Of course, it's got a divider, so two. And she found 2 babies up there.
No, that's gonna be broken.
But the one I don't need to sell it, so it's gonna take it, sell it as the other. We'll have to ask her.
Hang on a second, guys. I'm just trying to fix this so it's not like blocking the view the whole time. If I have to, I'll shut it off, but trying not to have to do that. Maybe that'll be better. I don't know. There's a little one back there too. How annoying. She's getting fish? Yeah. She gonna get the whole tank and everything?
Yeah.
There's some Venus flytraps.
Those are huge. The ones up there, too? Are those real?
No, those are fake ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah,
These are just plastic.
okay. I was amazed by those for a minute.
Oh my god, this thing is so annoying. I don't want to turn off the chat box. I want to get it to work properly. But I don't know how to make it go back and stay that way. I will fix it eventually. It's okay, because we're waiting on her to come over here anyway.
I think she's helping get the fish right now.
Okay. You want me to go over there?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to fix that. Alright, I'll just leave it the way it is. Let's go over there. Yeah, I know that link isn't working, so I have.
So you want to either get bottled water or drops to dechlorinate. I can show you. The drops aren't expensive.
It's like regular bottles.
Yeah, bottle is fine. I would not do distilled. Yeah, that's fine. Spring is fine. She's getting a super delta.
That one's really pretty.
It's pretty.
It's okay. Your responsibility.
Do you want some Java moss, some of this plant that's in there? You can have it. There's so much in it. It's kind of.
Box comes off the screen because it is really annoying.
Alright, what am I pulling up?
Goldfish are
Okay, so go to here.
They're very high maintenance.
Hold that.
That's what we-
Go over
that's
there
what
and
we
film
make
them
friends
so they're in
selling goldfish.
this
That's
box,
only
so this
goldfish
isn't
we got.
blocking them.
Because people want them and
Thank
yeah,
you.
they end up
That fixes
using
it.
float and everything, and like they produce so much waste. They just are an ammonia factory, so people have this idea that they're easy and they're not.
That's why I won't
Yeah.
goldfish anymore.
Right? Yeah, we don't even recommend unless you have a really good sized tank with a really heavy filtration.
Right. Nope.
Yeah, he's not a crown tail. It says on there crown tail, but I swapped it out. This one looks like. Reminds me of an open.
I love the colors on them.
There's another one over there that's blue and yellow and black. And the one I kept, it was just a regular crown tail, but he's black and white. Check out that one. I've not really seen anyone
wow.
Isn't that unusual?
He is real pretty.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm keeping him.
Yeah.
Then there's that one in the corner. He's kind of like. There he is. He's in one of the technical difficulties.
That fixed.
These nets out of here. We don't have very cool peacocks right now. All the blue and red ones already went. Those are just the reds or albinos. Some females. What are you smiling at me for like that? Are you excited, Kaden? You're another mom again. All right, all set.
I have one that I have my eye on too.
Yeah.
This Bisher right here. I used to have one like long time ago, but he was an albino, and he's about the same size as my albino loach that I have, and they're a little like they have like really cool personalities, and I love this little guy. He's awesome.
How big do they get?
They get like that big.
Wow.
Yeah, they get pretty
That's
big.
a lot.
Like he would fit perfect in the tank with those goldfish.
Yeah.
I can totally run around.
They're like little puppies. They like follow you around the glass and everything.
Oh, the Bashir.
Yeah.
They're awesome. The hatchets are pretty cool too.
She's gonna pay for the aquarium and I'll pay for the fish.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. We'll just do that then. And then you can give
Oh yeah, I see them up there.
They're pretty neat. You don't see them too often anymore. They used to be pretty common. You don't see them too much now.
You guys see them up there, like floating at the top by the plants?
Little surface dwellers. This is a neat fish here too, the Delta. He's pretty cool. We had an ornate, but he's so that guy's pretty nice.
Oh yeah.
Cross contamination with diseases and things like that.
Right.
We could have them at different temperatures. We blocked off all the overflows. These were units, but we blocked them all off. So it always works individually.
You want to show me this stuff out there? So
Yeah,
I
sure.
think there's like better connection out there, so we'll go
Oh,
out there
yeah, this-
first, and then we'll come back in here.
The building is really old, and
Stuff. Let's go over here by the reptiles and
oh
stuff,
sure, yeah.
since they're all working on checking out.
Checking out. The baby boas are pretty cool. There's a sun glow. That's a really nice sun glow. And then there's the hypos. Oh, there's the one I was trying to get.
wow.
I like this one. The motley. He's really cool. Yeah. You don't see many of those in stores. Mostly just normals.
You see them in the light when you put them down.
Oh, yeah. And all of our snakes eat frozen thawed. We only sell frozen thawed. Come on, they're all snagged.
Oh,
all
so you
over
have
me.
like no live rodents
No,
here like
we
that?
have
Just for
live
sale?
rodents. Yeah, we just breed a small quantity of the live rodents to do for pets. But I can show you on this boa. One of the reasons we don't recommend
close that.
live. I'll get you.
How big is that one?
Oh, he's probably 7 or 8 foot, I'd say. I haven't really measured him. He's a rescue we picked up a month or so ago. You can see on his, you're able to see his face. He has his brow bones above his eyes are gone, and his nose is rounded off because he was chewed on by rats. So the people were not doing it very responsibly, so he got, you could see from above, there's a big notch in his eye.
Yeah, I see it.
See right there? So he had kind of a rough upbringing. But he's a nice snake.
Yeah, he's not like hissing or getting puffy
No.
or anything.
No, the people that had him were kind of afraid of him. He was a second-hand acquisition for them. That's the female. She's a salmon or hypo. You can see how round his face is where it should be boxed off. Watch out. See how hers is
Oh yeah.
boxed and his is so round? Because she still has all of her face. He doesn't. So, he's just a normal. I thought it was a female because it was so large. And I thought, oh, we've got this rescue snake. I thought we'll put him in here. And we found out pretty quick it was a male. So I wouldn't have wanted to breed a male normal to a hypo, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. The bull snake's pretty cool. These are a nice North American native.
Yeah, they pretend to be venomous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these guys look like a rattlesnake. A lot of them get killed out west because they look like a rattlesnake. It's pretty neat. I have a pair of these. I was going to sell it, and then I thought maybe I ought to just try to breed them instead, because there's not really a lot of these in the trade, and they are a nice snake. And they get up to 8 foot.
Yeah, they whip their tails around, right?
Oh, yeah.
I ran into one of those hiking, and I thought it was a rattlesnake, and I was freaking out. Luna was going for it, and I didn't know what it was yet.
Oh, man.
But then we finally realized that it was just a bull snake.
especially in
Luckily,
the
I know
grass.
them, you know, so I knew what it was. But
Yeah, especially in the grass or leaves, it would be almost indistinguishable.
it's the way they move,
Mm-hmm.
and the whipping around. They put their head up.
And they flatten their head, too, sometimes, even makes it look broader.
Yeah,
Yeah, these are...
those are actually really sweet. The ones I worked with were a lot more whippy and crazy, and
This one, sometimes people are nervous about him when they take care of these guys, but you just have to know what they're trying to do. I've never...
yeah, see, like that, like
Right, he didn't mean anything by it. But,
they move fast. All the colubrids,
mm-hmm.
they're not like these guys that are all slow moving.
Right. Yeah, and it's just a whole different... It's not any better or any worse, it's just different. I'll show you a different one that's similar to him that's really cool. No, he's behind his background. Very little turd. This is a really pretty one. It's an albino gopher. They're related to the bulls. But I've not seen very many of these in Morse. You see gophers a lot, but not really the reds like that.
Yeah,
He's
that's
a nice
really
snake.
pretty.
That's a good one.
Cool, right?
It is cool.
I like the fire belly toads too.
Oh yeah, they're so
They're
fun.
fun.
They'll jump up and grab your fingers and bite you. Every time I go in there to do anything, they're hopping at me.
There's a big one.
Yeah. They're pretty fun.
Albino
nice big
cow
ones.
king. I can focus. There we go.
Where's the other one?
He's an acrobat.
Green anole acrobat.
They're so cute. Those are happy little anoles. They have their UVB. They're always in there hanging out doing anole things.
Yeah, these guys are all over Florida too.
Oh yeah. That's a big white. There's a couple of them in here. Yeah, he's in his little house. He'll jump up
Okay,
and bite
so-
your fingers too.
Have you ever noticed that these guys, when you have a whole bunch of them in a container together, they smell like pot?
I haven't noticed that.
They have like a really strong smell of it, and
Wow.
they, I don't know what it is. It's something that they secrete that we
That's
used to open up
interesting.
the containers at our shop and just be like, oh my god, if the officers walk in here, they're gonna
Oh my
think that
God.
we're doing something. But it
That's
was just the
funny.
frogs,
Huh.
the white street frogs.
I've never noticed that about them. That's really interesting. Oh, there's a nice fire escape.
Are they still using dumpies for the name of those?
I see it kind of interchangeably used. I don't know if it depends on if they're from Indonesia or if it's an Australian, because normally you see the Indonesian now. There's a nice big
What's the
gecko.
difference between them?
I think the Australian get a little bigger.
Oh, okay.
You can't really hold this one, but that's a nice. Oh, it's okay, buddy.
Oh, is he the day gecko?
Yeah, he's really
Let me
pretty.
go over here. Wait, there he is.
Yeah,
Okay, I got him.
he's pretty.
Yeah, I hate touching those guys because their skin rips so easily.
Yeah. When we got that one, I was really glad to see that it wasn't all torn up, because sometimes they really...
Yeah, a big problem with those guys is when you touch them, their skin is so sensitive that it'll like rip open.
It's very
And then they have a
fragile.
scar on them for like the rest of their lives.
I think he must have sold the fire snake. We had the tiniest little baby Madagascar that the girl that's working got, and it's eating off of her finger. It's so cute. It's like that big, little captive bred. Let's see, what else is cool? Oh, the baby cresteds are always a hit.
Is that the other one that was in with Twiggy or not?
Oh,
no, these are smaller.
Yeah, these are much smaller. Oh, you're so cute. That's a little pinstripe or partial pinner. See him? Oh, we try to get nicer ones than just buckskin. So these are
They're jumpy.
They're so hoppy. Come on. That one has such a white tail. He looks like bird poop.
Here. It's cool though.
Yeah.
How much of that pattern is showing.
Yeah, very white. And then the bigger ones, they're tailless males, but they're still cool. They're not fired up. Nobody's fired up.
Here, let me see this one.
Oh, sure.
You come here on my hand. Okay, we're gonna videotape you.
I think this one has a nice pattern. Oh, yeah.
He's just smiling for the camera.
This one's almost a rose color. It's almost pink. Yeah. And he's got all these little yellow dots on his
Focus
side.
camera.
Am I too close? Is that better?
I don't know. There we go. I got it.
Unfortunately, these guys, if they lose their tail, which they do a lot of times when breeding, it doesn't grow back. But they can still be a nice little... Hello. Let me take him. Come here. Hey.
Holding on.
And they're really easy to tell if they're a boy, because they've got little boy parts. The girls don't have that. Once they get to be about 4 or 5 inches, you can usually tell what they are. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I would film them through the glass. Let's see if we can fix this.
The other day it smelled like vinegar up here. My sister was freaking out. She's like, what is that? Something spilled vinegar up here. It was the king snakes musking.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of was a vinegary smell. It was kind of gross. There's a baby veiled. I don't know if he'll want out or not. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, they have little attitudes.
Oh,
Veiled
yeah.
chameleons.
We only get captive bred, so sometimes you get luckier with the personality on the captive breds. The wild caughts tend to be pretty angry. I would be angry too. He's kind of sticking, but he's kind of...
Slowly.
Yeah, they do everything slowly. You're going to hold my hand? I'll leave you go if you don't want to come out.
Will they eat from your hand yet?
They do a little bit. They'll take little worms and things. And sometimes we can get them to eat some greens from our hands too. But usually once they're this size, we'll start offering a little bit of green.
What's in there?
Oh, right now just one tortoise. Usually we have Russians and stuff in here, but this is a 3-toed box, a Western. She's really shy though. Once you get her out, she kind of boxes up. But we've had her for quite a while because she's not super personable. We had a lot of Russians go recently. I think we had 4 or 5 in here over Christmas, so I'll put you back. The Redfoots are really cool too up front. They're really personable.
Yeah, let's
They're
go
very
see
nice.
those.
Yeah.
I saw them earlier, but
Oh, okay.
you can tell people about them.
Yeah. They've got really nice personalities. You saw the blue iguana?
Yeah,
He
he's
sneezes
awesome.
all over his little glass. He loves that rock.
He's like, hey man,
What
Little
is
heat
that
spot.
thing? Yeah. Oh yeah, he loves that spot.
Who's yelling back there?
Oh, that's Rocky. I'll get him out. There's the little tortoise. This one's a female. And then the big one. Oh, he's all the way in the back. I'll have to get Miranda to get him out. But that's the little female. These guys are South American, and they, one of the problems you see with them a lot is pyramiding. They get an issue with the shell where their shell will actually stick up and look like a bunch of pyramids. And usually comes from improper diet and lighting, but I'm pretty proud of these guys that they have really great shells. They don't have the pyramiding.
Yeah, we talked about that with the sulcatas when we went to go see them at my friend's place.
Yeah, you see so many of them with it, especially up north here. A lot of times, too, people are feeding them too rich of diets. Oh, she's got a white toenail. Huh, I never noticed that. Oh, that one is too. Weird. Huh. I don't know. But,
And then
man.
I saw you got a bigger one. Did she move back, or
yeah,
he?
he's pretty big. He might come up here because he's probably going
And
to
the
think
frilled.
I'm feeding. Oh, yeah, let's get them out. They're really fun. A friend of mine had got these guys from us, the frills, as babies. And then he moved to Hawaii, and they have a very strict law about pets there, especially reptiles, where you can't bring stuff into their country, or into their state. So he had to leave them behind, and he gave them back to me. So, but they were little guys, and they don't really frill up anymore because they do it kind of like the hissing cockroaches. They only do it when they're nervous,
Yeah.
or if something excites them. But that's her frill. So just
Yeah, they're really sweet too.
Yeah, they're nice lizards. Just this year, they started to get a lot of red on them. This is a new thing for them. But yeah, she's pretty big. These are the, not the Australian frilled. These ones are, I think they're New Guinea. So they won't get as big. The Australians will get like 3 foot. These guys are pretty close to full grown. I'm trying to tip her to make her frill go up a little bit. But she's so mellow, she doesn't even care anymore. And the other one is little. They laid eggs this past year, but they weren't, I don't think they were fertile. We tried to incubate them, but
Oh yeah, I
nothing
see the
came
other
of
one
it.
up there, hiding out.
Yeah, that's his spot. He loves that spot. He's got a lot of red too.
Yeah, I've never seen them with that much red.
Yeah,
They look
it's-
really pretty like
Yeah,
that.
I'm not sure if it's just an age thing or what, but yeah, they have a lot of red. I have pictures of that one frilled up, and it was like that big. It was so cool. Wanna go back up, buddy? They nibble at that ficus sometimes, but they mostly eat. They love superworms and pinky rats. In here, there's a huge crested male.
Where's he at?
I don't know. He hides
if we
so
can
well.
find
And
him.
one day, somebody left this open like that, and we thought he was gone. And we
Oh,
couldn't.
there's the salamander.
Oh,
too.
is he? Oh, he's out. He's never out. You can look first.
Yeah. I can look first. Okay.
Yeah, he won't jump out. He'll be fine. The crested
Let's
is
see,
probably
see.
behind the background somewhere.
He looks fake.
Right? He's like a toy.
He's all rubbery and he matches my
You
glove.
don't see very many of those.
Is that a tiger?
Yeah. Yeah, I've had him for a couple years. He's pretty good size. These plants. It's all live plants, so. He's got leaves on his head. He's a nice salamander.
He's got leaves on his head, but don't call him a leaf head.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know where the crested is. He could be anywhere. He's a beast.
I saw him when I came in here
Oh, did
before,
he run
but
away then?
no, I mean like I saw him before, like way
okay,
earlier,
I
but
gotcha. Yeah, sometimes
he must have
out
just
and
moved somewhere.
Yeah, he's that whole thing. He could be anywhere. It's just kind of a. Chaos.
And what do you have going on here?
Oh, there's a African side neck turtle and a huge oranda. And
Oh
kind of
yeah, I
a-
see them back there.
Yeah, that's a process.
Yeah, Placo, and then
Yeah.
you've got the other one over
Yeah,
here.
the duck is
turtle's
fake.
in the
Yeah, he likes the cinder block.
brick.
That's
in
where
the
the
cinder
heater
block.
is. It's in the cinder block, so he's like, but it's 120 something gallons for him to swim. So that
That's
big
cool.
oranda is a beast. Somebody had
Yeah.
it in like a 20 gallon, I think. But he's pretty cool. It's a super personable goldfish.
You gotta teach them to play soccer.
Yeah. It likes to go to that waterfall thing and put its head out of the water, get tickled. I don't know if she'll eat the turtle pellets or not. Its name is Lily. I didn't name her. she's very delicate. I can put my hand there to show the size. She's pretty big. It's about baseball size, I would say. People always ask if it's a koi or if it's pregnant. No, it's just, they're just not used to seeing them full size. When they're the size of a marble, it's not as impressive. But yeah, and that's my blue iguana. His story is I took him home because when we got him, he was a hatchling and he wasn't really wanting to eat. He was really stressed. And I put him in my bathroom so my cats wouldn't bother him. He got out of his enclosure and I couldn't find him anywhere. He started tearing the house apart. He couldn't have got out of the bathroom. And then one of my kids flushed the toilet and it sounded funny. It just didn't complete the flush. And I was like, no way. And sure enough, he was down in the toilet down in the whole trap and everything.
Wow.
So I was by myself. I had to take the whole toilet off, and you could just barely see the tip of his tail sticking out. And I was able to pull it. I didn't want to break his tail, so I was pulling it down just a little bit at a time and shaking the toilet. And I got him out. And when he came out, he had toilet paper stuck all over his head.
Ew.
It was bad. So I've had him ever since. We've had him about 2.5 years. So the blue are one of the slower growing. The red grow really fast. The green grow pretty fast. The blue don't grow as fast, and albino grow even slower. So I'm hoping that with this big enclosure, it's 5 foot long. I think it's 5 foot. Is that 6 foot? I don't know.
It looks like about the length of a 55-gallon,
Oh, it's long.
right? But
Yeah. It's a 55 would be 4 foot. I know it's at least 5.
yeah, so a 55 would probably come up to like
Yeah,
here.
yep, that's, yeah. And then it's 3 foot tall by 2 foot wide, so we'll just keep...
That's cool. Yeah, that's huge for him though.
He's got his branches and...
Are you keeping him there permanently, like for now?
For now, yeah. Yeah, we're going to be building in some really nice cases behind the counter for our larger snakes. My brother-in-law's going to help us build, so we're going to have some nice, really large enclosures back there.
That's cool.
Yeah, but for now, this was a display case somebody gave us, so it makes a nice modified enclosure. I just used wood floor underlayment pieces, and we cut them, and then I painted them kind of like a little mini mural.
Oh,
so
on the
that-
back there?
Yeah, just so it wasn't so boring. It's got kind of some dimension. And they just slide open and close. So it's a pretty basic thing. We took the base off the cabinet because it was kind of rotted and moldy, and we took, there wasn't a top on it, and there wasn't a back, so it was kind of a 3-sided frame.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's a nice looking iguana. He's got good blue. Hi.
Hello.
Hi there.
Howdy doody.
Hi there.
Hi.
Aiden's like, get over it. Oh, the Taiwan Beauty. Let me get her out. The green basilisk is nice too, but it probably won't let me handle it. You can come back if you want. Yeah, I'd probably leave the glass shut because
Yeah, leave it
she's
shut.
jumpy.
Yeah, they're always jumpy.
Oh,
They're always
yeah.
skittish.
Yeah, we try to let her have her space because
See, mine, that I did a video about these guys, and mine was stunted to this size forever.
wow.
So it was a little bit smaller than this one, and had the full crests and everything, but it wouldn't grow any bigger.
Oh my gosh. I'm jealous because I've been looking for a male. This is where we're going to be building in those new enclosures so we don't have to have these tanks like this. We're just going to have
Where you
this.
have to jump up on the counter to get to them.
Yeah, and then we have boards on top because this is a really old slate tank. So it doesn't have the screen
I've never
tops.
seen them like this with the...
The stainless?
Yeah.
It's real old. This one's kind of a turd till I get her out. Oh yeah, I'll let you look first. Are you all set?
Ugh.
She's
It's pretty, though.
Yeah, it's a San Diego Zoo line Taiwan Beauty rat snake. It's another colubrid you don't see in the trade very often. She should be gravid. We're putting in a lay box at the end of this month, so.
Does she strike at all?
Yeah, she's pretty wicked too. $28.95.
Nothing like a good friend, huh?
Right? She's a great snake, but you have to once you
We'll
get
call
her
it a
out-
high feeding response.
Oh yeah. Let me go back. $28.95.
Oh no, they
That's
got-
her.
Oh, is it not locking? Hang on, let me see if I can.
You can take this off if you want.
There we go.
What do you have?
I don't need to change anyway. So.
Maybe that'll
Oh,
fix
okay.
it.
So. Gosh, I goofed myself up. So now I would give you back. You won't do anything. 12. Oh, what the heck did I do?
Yes.
Wait. I should have given you back 11.05. Why can't I?
Let's see if we can get zoom in on this snake,
See, I can do
and
no
I'm
problem,
gonna
but
see
now
if we can get
because I have it up here, now I do
lock
myself.
this, and then
Yeah.
we'll get the full preview and see if we can zoom in. There we go. I got it.
It's really pretty.
Cool, I was right.
Yeah, that pattern and those colors and everything.
I just didn't want to short you.
It's awesome.
Go. Thank you much. Oops, sorry. Goodness. Where you got it? Oh, I got it.
As long as she doesn't jump up here and grab my hand yet, then that'll be fine. You want to pick her up for me? You sure?
I'm sure.
Pick her up.
What you need?
Just put your hand in there.
Advantage things for the large
They're pretty to
cats
look
and
at,
younger
but
cats.
they're not my thing to, you know.
Hopefully I have 4. I have 2.
Well, then I guess I'll take 2. And
One of my friends, I had a Macalot's python that only had one eye because he was not taken care of well by the previous owner. So I called him my one-eyed snake. And my friend Matt said that he would hold him, and I told him it's probably not a good idea because he's not very nice.
Yeah.
And he stuck his hand in there, and it grabbed him. It wrapped around his hand, and it took us a good like half hour to take it off.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, it's not a big deal, but it was a big deal when we couldn't get him to stop biting. He was bleeding everywhere, but it didn't hurt. It was just the fact that the snake wouldn't let go, and we felt bad.
Yeah.
More for the snake than anything. It was like we were messing with him, but he was so mean. He thought he was a cobra. He just wanted to grab everybody who put their hands in there. But I took care of him because they were going to put him down, and I was like, no, I'll keep him alive. Even if he's mean, I don't care. Yeah, she's waiting for me to try to pick her up.
She's got big teeth. Sorry.
There's a dog there.
She's underfoot. Stella.
Okay, can you back for me if you want to wait?
Are you
Did you want to wait and get all of that? or
It's
do you
too
wanna-
cold to give her a bath.
Yeah, that might be good.
She's like 8, but she looks like a
Both 11
puppy.
to 7.
Oh, okay.
She's a Brittany mix.
Monday through
I'll get the tie on it. She's about
But Tuesday you should have it.
Don't get bit.
You
Right,
might
on
want to call
camera.
just to make sure you don't make a trip
Make
or
it
nothing
good
because they come Tuesday or Wednesday depending on shipping.
Okay, I'll call and ask them. And...
Alright, yeah, I'll put the order in as soon as I can as soon as we open back up.
All right.
She's bigger than she appears when she's coiled up.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
How long is that?
I think she's probably nearly 8 feet.
Jeez, yeah, that is pretty long.
Yeah, she's.
Might have some sheets. We don't have the cues.
It's hard to tell because she never really goes very straight. I think these are 8 inches. Don't go under there.
That line in the back looks really awesome.
Yeah, it's like 3
Stripe.
different snakes. She's got checkerboards and stripes. So let's see. One. Oh shoot, snake foot. Trying to cut.
She's gonna run away.
Yeah, see, it's too hard to measure her, but she's. Let's see. I'm like 5'3". So she's probably 6.5, maybe I'd say. I don't know. It's impossible. But yeah, they have a nice belly. Yeah. I hope she has some eggs. Let's try not to mess with your belly too much.
It's okay size. We have also bigger size.
There's the bird hanging out behind
Yeah,
you.
that's Rocky.
Hi, Rocky.
He's in his 40s.
Oh, wow. You don't look like you're in your 40s.
I think he's from Brazil, so he's got something in common with you. He was a wild caught.
Is he your pet now? Store pet?
Yeah, we don't really sell big birds very much. They just tend to get. I notice they tend to get neglected a lot, so I don't do baby birds anymore. I used to do hand rearing and stuff, and I had a lot of fun doing it, but it's kind of feel like beating head against the wall. This is how we have to do
Yeah.
it.
I was watching a few different people on YouTube who make videos about their birds, mainly parrots, and they were saying the same thing, is just too many people just get them and neglect them because they don't want to really hang out with them because it's like having a child, right?
Right, very much so. Did you have a question?
Okay, let's go see the other stuff. I'm gonna plug in some batteries here so we have some more time. Where'd Kaden go? She's over it. She's just still chilling over there on the chair.
You want me to grab that?
No, he has it right below.
Her fish was left, so.
Oh, already went home to get set up.
Yeah.
That parrot's cute.
It is cute.
Hold on, trying to plug this battery in. There we go. I got it.
What kind of food is it?
Okay.
Oh, what do you want to look at now? Let's see. Fish?
Sure.
No, we don't have water turtles.
What are these other ones here? These other smaller tanks?
That is an amoeba that wasn't eating well, so we are hand feeding him. These ones are the different spiders and things. Oh, the centipede would be cool to check out. This is the pink toe I used in my audition video.
Oh yeah, somebody was asking about that.
Oh yeah, what did they want to know?
They wanted to know what's going on with that,
Oh.
with the survivor thing.
I'm not at liberty to say.
Okay.
I haven't heard much, so. but I will.
Well, you did submit everything.
Oh yeah, everything went well. So this is that nice little pink toe. Oh, he's got a cricket in his mouth.
Oh, you can leave her. You can leave her then.
It's almost gone, but yeah, it's a nice little pink toe. It's a real gentle one. I'm surprised it's still
There's
here.
a centipede in here. Oh, Vietnamese.
Yes. Oh yeah. I won't handle that, but I will get.
Don't, please don't.
No. But it is really cool to look at. Let's see if I can. Let me turn this little light on. Maybe that would help. See. There you go. Now you can see. She's usually under here. There it is.
Oh yeah, she's big.
Yeah. It's such
Still
an
not full
interesting-
grown though, right?
No, it'll get a little bit bigger. Yeah, and it's a really nice.
Oh, going after you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't advocate handling those. It is a fairly nice centipede. It's not super jumpy as far as other ones, but it's really cool because it'll clean itself like a cat even.
Yeah,
She'll
I used to
turn
have a
around
blue
like-
one,
Oh yeah.
and then it got out,
Oh no.
and I don't know what happened to it.
Oh,
I did a
boy.
cribs episode on my channel, like showing my apartment around back in the day, and I went to go show the centipede, and I was like, it's missing.
No. That's funny.
Because they're so toxic, it just, I hear it's one of the most painful bites
Yeah.
in the bugs.
Yeah, it's one of those things that probably won't kill you, but it'll hurt real bad.
Yeah. So I prefer not to. There was a guy that used to come into my shop though that used to hold one of these on his arm, and he would walk around with it everywhere like it was a snake.
Wow.
And I don't know how it never bit him. It didn't have the fangs clipped or anything.
Wow.
He just kind of played with it all the time.
We have some people that come in
You
here.
can cover them up.
Oh, okay. We have people that come in here that have, you see a tail
Yeah.
whip at me. I don't want to squish it with the house. That they hold their tarantulas and they'll bring them in the shop. You're okay. I'm just trying to not hurt you.
All right, there he goes.
Cool. And we're selling it with the enclosure with a sliding lid because his is escape proof, which not many things for them are escape proof. They can even chew inferior screening, so we've got.
Oh, they can? I didn't
Oh,
know they
yeah.
would do that. Maybe that's how mine got out.
That could be, definitely.
Can we see the Pac-Man Frog?
Yeah! There's a couple little guys in there. Sorry, it's close quarters right here.
Yeah, it's all right. We can see fine.
Let's see. That's the green. He's a little chunk. We don't have any pixies right now. That's the other one I had in the video featured. That was a friend of mine's.
Are they screaming yet?
No, these guys don't really seem to. I had a big one, a big albino, but he grunted at us a lot.
That one's albino in there?
Is it? Yeah, it is. Yep, that one's an albino. And then these are just general little scorpions. I think that's an Asian forest, and there might be a desert hairy somewhere.
Oh, I've got hit by one of those before. That was fun.
Those are no fun.
I used to have a few of those.
They're
And then
pretty
the bicolor. That one was fun.
Oh, yeah.
What's that one?
This is a curly hair spiderling. He's down in all that. He's got all that webbing and stuff. You can't see him. What's this? BV. I don't even know what this is. What did I even get?
Let's put our fingers in there and find out.
It's some kind of spiderling. He's in there somewhere.
It says red.
Red rump. That's probably what it is.
Yep,
Yep,
red
red rump. Okay, so I was like, what's BV
It was either red knee or red rump.
Yeah, they're tiny. They're just little. So we'll grow them up and then they'll be big enough to actually see at some point. What's up? Look at fish.
Yeah, I miss having my saltwater tank.
My bug
to
collection
do in.
is-
Oh yeah, check these out. I'm gonna have to give you some so you can put in your shop.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Some of those resin pieces that I have too. So
A friend of ours put
There's a
together
hisser.
the butterflies and moths. He did a really great job.
assassin bug.
Yeah, I got that in Florida, and that was just one of the scorpions from here. One of the ones that had a lot of babies.
That's not an emperor though, is it?
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
an emperor.
Because I know there's those and then the Chinese forest ones.
Yeah,
I think,
those
that
ones
are
you
like
see a lot more in Asian forest.
Asian forest.
Yeah,
I was
you
close.
can't get emperors anymore hardly. They're very hard to get. But that was one that had babies for us a lot. And that was I think it was a huntsman, and it was a huge spider. Yeah, she laid eggs.
Yeah,
And then,
huntsmen are cool,
yeah, she was beast.
and they're more friendly too. They're not as mean,
There's like
so
a
you
little
can.
tarantula. Yeah, and then I had lent these the bugs to somebody that wanted to borrow them for a school thing, and they didn't return them for quite a while, and then they came back kind of damaged. So these had a lot better color, and they weren't all broken. The friend that did them did an excellent job, but they kind of got deteriorated from that.
Here, let's go over here then in the
Alright.
fish section.
Yeah. This is the 180. Low tech. It's just a very simple overflow sump system with caulerpa. It's a very simple system. We just have LED black boxes. And it's mostly soft corals, gorgonians, elephant ear mushrooms, things like that. This clone was, they were using an anemone that was hosting them. I had a male and a female, but I ended up selling him because he would bite me every time.
Oh.
And he would draw blood. It was annoying, you know. You'd be in there trying to do something and he'd be hanging on your hand, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I can't.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know they would do that.
Oh yeah, they're very territorial. But now that he's gone, she comes out because they used to only hang out in one corner. And now that she doesn't have him anymore, she's a lot nicer, so I'm kind of glad. He was just a big...
I used to call these guys the Beetlejuice fish.
Oh yeah, he does look like Beetlejuice. I have the pajama ones too. They're not as colorful as the Banjai, but... Let's see. These are just kind of invert tanks. We put our tangs in there too because it's easier to keep them feeding when they're eating the caulerpa and everything. There's not a lot in these. It's mostly the softies, dopty corals, and sometimes we put our shrimp in there because it's easier to find them. Every once in a while, pipefish or something in there.
What are these, 15 gallons?
They're 20s.
Oh, 20s?
Yeah, it's just another really basic. It just has a really lousy basic sump on the bottom. It's very low tech. I do most of my filtration.
I like the way that those tanks are, because I just have like the 20 highs and stuff.
Oh yeah, the
There's
nice.
there's my new little buddy. If no one
He
takes
is a
him.
beauty. I love them. We had a gorgeous ornate fish here over there. It was really doing good, and I didn't realize that there was still an autosynclus, a little tiny algae eater in there, and he tried to eat it. It was so small, I didn't even. It was in a cave, and it killed them both.
Oh
I
no!
felt so bad. We couldn't do anything.
There's another one of the red beta.
Oh yeah, he's just a standard veil. We don't do our betas in cups. We do ours in the heated tanks with filtration, with the more peaceful fish. The ones that you have to watch.
That's me giving you a thumbs up.
Yeah, there's no beta cups here at all. So
It's like every store you go into, you see those little cups with the blue dye in the
Yeah.
water and like
Yeah,
a beta
it's not
floating
right.
around. And
just because you can live that way doesn't mean you should live that way. I could live in a bathroom or a closet. See, it's just a regular beta, but he's so happy and beautiful. He's not laying on the bottom of a cold cup.
yeah, and his fins are all nice
Yeah.
and they're not all ripped up. And
Right, all rotting from his own ammonia. But yeah, people don't realize.
Here's a blue one.
Yeah, that one did get beat up.
Yeah. This one got beat up by another one.
Well, no, it wasn't another beta. It was probably
look at
another
this one, though.
tetra or something. There's a nice blue one, yeah. But yeah, sometimes the other fish will turn on them a little bit. You have to
Is that why
watch.
he's alone?
Yeah, we put him down there because he'll recover. He'll be fine. This is a nice one too. That one's kind of a cream color. The Congo tetras are nice. Those are kind of an underrated tetra. As they get bigger, they get really nice metallic colors on them. The tiger barbs too, a lot of people don't realize you need to keep them in a huge group. We usually have about 20 in there, and they keep a lot more peaceful. But yeah, at all. Those are old mollies and sailfin. Pretty good sized parrots. Random convicts. I have 2 convicts that somebody brought that are. I mean, they've got this far, so I don't want to put them down. But the flying fox algae eaters are great.
In here.
Residents, they
Better than it does in the fish room. Oh, and hopefully
it cuts
they can at least hear.
green eyes. She's really the
Let me
reflections
see.
are bad on there. Homes for great private. They can go to toys, and we usually have really loud. Yeah, she gets very attached to. She likes to wear stuff on herself too. Like she'll put on a backpack and then like a belt clip, like an old cell phone case with stuff in it, and then like another pouch, and then like another. She'll wear pouches all over herself, just toys. It's weird. It's cute, but I'm like, how old is she? 7.
Okay, I think we're back and we're
Okay.
good.
Yeah, we mostly do little birds. Every once in a while, we just had an African
Do you
gray
guys
that
want to
got a
come here?
home.
Or?
Yeah, you can come in. It's not terribly bad in here, loud right now, but we don't have a ton of birds. Like we've got. I need to bring some more out. We usually breed our own parakeets. We handle the babies. I don't hand feed the babies because I find that letting the parents feed them, they do just as well. So we handle them, and then they're fairly friendly. And then zebra finches, but those are old hat. Everybody's got zebra finches. They're separated because they weren't getting along.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all boys, so everybody gets the girl ones. So we have a bunch of boys at the moment, so we're trying to keep them separated.
Is there anyone in there in the big
No,
one?
he got a home the other day.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he was an African gray. He was 10 years old. His name was Chili, and he got a really nice home. So we're glad to see that.
What is this room? Is it like a little storage closet thing? It's
Yeah,
kind of cool.
I think, yeah, it was just a storage closet. It was pretty rough. It was pretty grody, but I kind of modified it to make it a nice little bird room. And then we have the ventilation fan with the HEPA filter, so it keeps it from
Yeah.
being too terribly dusty.
So just put a bunch of trees in here. Let them all go.
Yeah, I would love that. That's what's nice is if you're catching a bird and something happens, it gets away from you, it's safe.
Yeah, it's a smaller room.
Yeah,
They don't all
it's got
get
a
hurt
screen.
flying around.
Right. Oh yeah, because if they get out here, it has happened, and it's hard to catch them. But plus we have a lot of big windows, so
Yeah.
that can make it a little tricky. I could bring out a hairless guinea pig baby. You want
Yeah,
to see that?
let's see that.
I'll be right back.
It's cute. She sent me a picture of it.
Oh, you seen it?
Just a picture. Yeah, it's really cute.
Are you bored? Yeah.
She's gonna bring out a hairless baby guinea pig. Suddenly interested again, huh?
Have you seen them before? Okay, you'll have to tell me if you think it's ugly or not. Is it ugly?
It's cute. I thought it was cute in the picture.
The ferret is passed out with his head dangling. I think he got very sleepy from playing.
That's funny.
And the other one's curled up with him in there in the hammock.
Yep. Too cute. Ferrets are adorable.
This big one. There's teddy bear hamsters in there.
I think she's back.
Is she back? Let's go find her.
This one he's going to be pretty much hairless, but right now he's got a little bit of fuzz.
Oh, I see on his head.
Yeah,
Just
he's
got
balding a little.
bit.
And that's what this is what she looked like when she was little. So that's his mom.
What do you think? Cute?
Little bit of hair on the nose.
Yep. And it
That's
comes
it.
and goes kind of seasonally. Like they tend to get a little bit more hair in the winter, and then it'll kind of fall out. So it's just as he grows. This one had a lot of hair when it was born, and it's already starting to come out. So they're not the true hairless, which are Baldwin pigs that are laboratory hairless. They're a lot bigger, and they have no hair. But these aren't Baldwins, so they're just basically I guess it'd kind of be a double Rex gene in other animals is maybe how it would represent. But
They're so cute.
they're like little hippos or capybaras. Capybaras, pachybarra. Gosh, capybara. That's what they remind me of.
They're
But-
cute.
Yeah, and these ones, if they had hair, their face would look almost flat because you have to, when you're breeding these, you have to be very careful with your face and head and ear shapes, or they'll look very rat-like in a bad way when they don't have the hair. They'll be very long-nosed. If you just bred a regular guinea pig without paying attention to the body type, it just looks awful without hair. So this baby has an excellent head. It's very blunt. And he'll have a very nice look to him when he gets bigger.
He's cute.
Yeah, like if she had hair, it would look like a Pekingese or something almost. So.
And they're so comfortable on your hand.
Oh yeah, they're very. These I've had them for
I
so
hear
many.
them.
Oh yeah, she's weeping. You talking? They're so sweet. I love guineas, but I'm allergic to regular guineas really bad. I get a lot of hives and breathing problems from them, but these guys don't bother me.
That's good.
They quiver a lot when you touch them. I think we tickle them a little bit. They seem, I think that they really like human skin. They like to lick you a lot. I think it's because it feels like their skin, so
That's
they kind of
cool.
maybe feel more like you're a guinea pig to them.
Aw.
But, yeah, I really love the hairless. They're special. Huh, you're a nice girl. Well, that's the baby. What? Are you calling for her? He's 3 days old. He's a very small baby, but just the
So
one.
cute.
Yeah. I'll put them back. There's your back.
Alright, let me go over here. Let me see these. Do any of you guys have any questions or anything for her? I'll ask them now if you guys have anything you want to know. Let's see what's in these over here. Oh, look, there's little baby bearded dragons hanging out. Let me zoom into them. I think there might be some more up here. Yep, here's another little baby hanging out. There's ball python. There's like different morphs there. And for anyone wondering about the newspaper, that just makes it way easier to keep it clean. That way you can clean it out every day when they're pooping everywhere.
This is kind of interesting too. This is a dwarf Dumbo rat. She's an adult female, whereas this is like a standard rat. Adult.
So that one's full grown?
Yeah, she's full grown. Yeah, some of them have even been smaller. I've had some. My favorite one was a blue male, and his body was only about that long. And their lifespan is the same.
It's like 4 to 6.
Well, that'd be pretty generous. Like usually 2 or 3 is pretty good for a rat. But yeah, I think my blue male he was 2.5 when he died. So yeah, the guinea pigs have a lifespan about 4 to 6, but the rats unfortunately don't usually get as long, but sometimes you get really lucky. But this one is just a standard. I just brought her out to show the size. She's got 2 different colored eyes.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I always like that.
I had a Siamese.
Oh yeah.
That was, basically they look like albinos, but they have a little tiny brown spot on the nose, and then their eyes are actually dark and not red like the albinos. But that's so
Siamese
cool that
gene
that
is
one
really-
has both.
Yeah, you don't see it too often. We see it every once in a while. I have some Syrian hamsters that are bi-colored eyes too.
Here?
Yeah.
Can we see them?
Yeah, I'll bring one out. These, see, I mean, they're really friendly. You can tell their rats they're not feeders.
Yeah,
If
they're
you
not
want-
trying to bite you or get
Yeah,
away or anything,
If
really.
you want feeder rats, there's places around to get them. We just don't. So, it's safer for our snakes too. I'm gonna go grab the hamster.
There's hermit crabs in here. Where are they at? Where are they at? Do we see any of them?
Earlier and I didn't see him. But
They're probably all hiding out.
yeah.
Looks like one of them buried down there in the little hole.
Oh yeah.
They'll actually come out of their shells and they will molt, and people think that they're dead and they'll throw them out thinking that they came out of the shell and died, but they're actually just molting.
Oh.
So it's like a big thing that like people need to know before they get them, because
Yeah.
otherwise they'll see them under the sand without the shell and they'll think they're dead.
Oh, that's crazy.
Who's in here? That one's a plated lizard. These guys are really cool too. He's actually hanging out inside of the rock though. I'll see when she comes back out if she'll grab him. They'll eat yogurt from your hand and stuff too. Kind of like her gecko does. Will eat like right from your hand, no problem. This little baby's adorable. Oh, here it is.
This one, it's not as drastic, but it's settle down. It's a darker ruby and a lighter ruby. So sometimes they have a black eye and a red eye, but right now this is the only one that's really different. I don't know if you can see it on camera.
Yep, you can kind of see it.
This one's a little baby. He's a satin.
What is he?
Satin. It's like, what are you grumbling about? The hairs on a satin animal are hollow. You can't probably tell on a video, but they're almost like a
Oh yeah,
shimmery.
I see that.
Yeah,
It
it's
looks
like,
way softer than
Yeah.
like the normal hair on them.
Yeah, it's a gene you see in rabbits and things too. And polar bears' hair is hollow too, so it kind of gives that same shimmery. Here. You feel better now? They get so grumpy.
Yeah, you can put them back.
I smell like rat. He's like,
I want to see what else is over here too, because there was other stuff we didn't see. Is there anything you guys want to see in the chat? There's a tokay. Is he a baby? Let's find. Oh, he's back there. He's not a baby.
one more snake I'll bring up there that's interesting that probably
Okay, yeah, bring it up.
haven't seen. Hopefully it
There
doesn't
he
bite me
is.
because I smell like a rat and it's blind.
There's the
so-
tokay.
It's a Coonsier Island rat snake. So it's an Asian rat. So, but it's kind of a jade green color, and
Really pretty.
yeah, it's a very uncommon species. It's Kunsir, Coonsier Island. I think they're like Japan and stuff. But this one's in its 20s. It was at a store where I worked a long time ago when I was a teenager, and they were 8 or 10 years old at that time. And then somehow through the grapevine, through multiple people, she got to me years and years later. So I've had her now for probably 6 or 7 years, but she has no eyesight. Her eyes are all cataract, they're all clouded over, but she
Aw.
still eats really good. So she's in her 20s. But they can go quite a bit longer. She has old rat scars, but she doesn't have to worry. See
Oh yeah, I
these
see
yellow
it.
marks? Those are old scars. But she doesn't have to worry about that now. They're almost a blue color. It's a very interesting snake. There's something you never see really anymore. Kind of different. Let's see what else I have back there. I've got all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah, somebody was asking about turtles and tortoises. There's one here that we saw earlier in the video, but she hides a lot. And then there were some redfoot tortoises up front that I showed as well. One of the bigger ones were actually hiding out, but I'm gonna go see if I can get to it. I'll ask your guys' question to her.
Oh, what about the baby turtle?
Yeah, someone was just asking about turtles and
We don't do
tortoises.
a lot with aquatic turtles just because a lot of times people only want them when they're tiny.
Yeah,
So, but these
and
are-
they're very messy.
Yes, very. This is one of the few aquatic species we ever have. This one is only available for teachers because it's a federal law. But it's a musk turtle, stink pot musk turtle.
Here, hold on, I'll zoom into it.
Yeah, he's very tiny. They only get about 4.5 inches long, so it's a very manageable size for a water turtle. Unlike a red ear slider that's going to get 13, 14 inches, it's in a very dirty. This is one that's almost fully aquatic, and of course he's not coming out now. Usually he's out all over the place.
He's so cute.
Yeah, they're so tiny. It just looks like a little rock or something. But he likes little crickets and bloodworms and things. You're not showing yourself very well, Rumper. He was wandering around in there when I had him out. Those are hornworms.
Someone was asking here if they want to get an exotic pet, if they should get one that's closer to their territory in climate than getting something that is like from a different climate 100%. Like, what do you think about that?
Well, as long as you can modify your inside climate and it's something manageable that can always live in your home where it is controlled, then, you know, are you talking about a reptile or birds or...
Yeah, I guess in general, like reptiles
Yeah.
that need heat lamps and everything.
Yeah, as long as you're financially and physically able to keep the temperatures maintained, then I mean, that's it. Most of these reptiles are exotic, meaning not from the U.S. If you want to do something that doesn't need as much heat, you would look at more North American species like the corn snakes, the king snakes. They're not as picky with heat, so they're a little bit easier to keep, and then you could brumate them too if you wanted in wintertime, a little easier. So, but the stuff that's from Africa or Australia is going to need a lot hotter, and they're going to need some of it, like the beardy is going to need UVB, so it's just something to consider with any pet is making it comfortable. I don't recommend things like sulcata tortoises up here because most people are not able to give it a sufficient outdoor enclosure in the summertime for 2 months maybe that you get out of it.
Yeah.
If you don't have a heated barn and pasture area, then it's kind of a bad life for them they can't move around or do much. I know people that have really nice setups in their basement, but then that takes up so much of your basement, and
Yeah, and you got all the electrical bills too that go up from
and they're
that.
always battling the heat and always keeping the UV up to date, and then the whole pyramiding issue because they're not really getting a lot of sun, and their diet might be off in winter because the fresh foods aren't as available. It's kind of limits things. So unless you're really committed to take on a really big reptile like that, and you shouldn't.
Yeah, and that goes for anything, even
Oh,
with the
yeah.
fennecs, and we try to tell people that all the time,
Right.
that, you know, you can't just throw it in your apartment and hope that it's going to be okay,
Right,
because you
get
have
a
to think
cat.
about the food, you have to think about the heat that they need, and
Definitely.
all of that. So it's a lot more than just throwing an animal in the house and hoping it does good.
Oh yeah, it becomes part of your lifestyle to make sure that they're comfortable. Oh, I can show you some bearded dragon eggs.
Oh, let me go back there. Go look at them. Oh, you brought them out
That's
here?
fine.
Okay.
I can let me get my phone and I'll candle them.
Can we eat them?
Well, if you really wanted to, you probably could. We had an African gray that would lay infertile eggs, and I was always kind of toying with the idea of making an African gray omelet, but I never got the guts to do it. Let's see.
Or are we going to see through them?
Yeah. That is the baby beardy in there.
Hang on, I'll zoom in.
That dark area is the baby, and all those red lines are the veins that lead to him from his yolk. That's probably his chin. I think his head is pointed up.
Hold the phone back a little bit more. Here, let me
Oh.
let's see. Because you can kind of see the red
Oh,
veiny
okay, I
stuff,
gotcha.
but when it's really close, it's hard to
Oh, okay.
for it to focus.
From my angle, it was good.
Yeah.
You
We can see it, but the camera can't see it.
Right, I gotcha. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The reason they have a line on top, this little blue mark, is...
So you know which side's up? Is
Yep,
that it?
exactly.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
the reason there's not very many of these, we didn't breed these. We did breed beardies in the past, but then you would have so many babies at one time, eating so much at one time, and it was kind of excessive to have 20 or 30 beardies at a time. So, but these guys, somebody had brought them in, they had an accidental clutch, and they didn't know that you can't roll a reptile egg. A bird egg, the embryo cannot stick to the egg or it will become deformed. So that's why the mother bird turns them. The reptiles, they're laid and left there, and the eggs are permeable, they're squishy. So the baby actually needs to adhere to the egg on the side so that it can breathe. And if you turn them once they've already adhered, then the embryo will die. So we started out with about 15 eggs, but with them all being turned different directions, there was no way to know which ones were going to be okay or not. So we're down to 6.
How do you know when they go bad?
Well, we candle them, and you can see a bad egg. In fact, there might be a bad one in here. I'm pretty sure the small one is bad, so I can show. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, though.
Here, let me see if I can go to my manual settings, and then maybe I can change it.
This is one that probably developed early on. That little black dot was probably a small embryo. And then those red marks are blood spots, which indicate, like, bacteria and death. So that's an egg that I'll have to pitch. So we know that that one is not a good one. And it's also kind of a yellow tint, whereas a good egg is going to be really rosy. I think this is the one that's... There's one in here that has a giant baby in it. And it's okay to turn them temporarily.
Yeah,
and
as long
turn
as you
them
don't
back.
leave them,
yeah.
right?
Oh, this is the one. He's huge. You can see there's his back and his tail and his legs.
Oh, I see that.
See that? The darkest line is the spots down his back. I don't know if they can see.
You can kind of see it on here.
Yeah, that's a big baby.
That's cool.
You can see his whole body, and there's his little tail curling around. Sometimes they'll kick around in there. It's pretty cool. Very interesting to watch those kind of things develop.
How long does it take to hatch?
Usually about 60, 70 days, depending on temperature. We incubate low for female. If you incubate hotter, you'll get mostly males. If you incubate lower, you'll get mostly females. If you incubate really hot, then you'll get what they call hot females, which I always feel weird saying. But they're like aggressive females that are more hormonal.
And you can do that with geckos and stuff too, right?
Yeah,
you can
most
change the
reptiles.
temperature to
Yep.
get the right sex that you want.
And it's not always a guarantee, but it's usually pretty accurate. So yeah, and then usually the female reptiles will get along better than males. So you'll know then that okay, I've got a group of them. They're probably all going to get along for a little while without having aggression issues. So but yeah, these guys I think they've got a couple weeks left. I don't remember the date. Any other questions from anyone?
Everyone just likes seeing all the cool pets. Everyone's
good.
enjoying that.
I'm glad they're enjoying it. This one's kind of neat. This is another one you don't see as often. They might have seen them.
Oh, I know what that is. Someone just got one of those in my chat.
Oh, cool. Yeah, a nice little gargoyle.
Oh, wait, did they get the gargoyle or the lychee? Maybe it was the lychee.
Oh, the giant lychees are awesome. The reptile rescue up in Cleveland, they just accidentally got 2 baby lychees. They were donated an enclosure, and there was 2 baby lychees just hanging out in there. That's a good thing for the rescue to get, because they can... Yeah, this is actually a gargoyle. They do look similar. They're related. You can
Yeah, he got a bit darker once you took them out. So
Yeah.
you see
Oh,
all
yeah.
the-
She'll
all the
get real
colors.
red, too.
Because the leeches are more gray, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, almost look like lichen on a tree. This is, she's a striped gargoyle. You can breed these with a crested, but they kind of make a weird, in my opinion, kind of a weird mongrel, and it's kind of frowned upon to hybridize them, but she's pretty cool. And these are supposed to be able to grow their tail back, but she, as a hatchling, didn't have a tail, and that's all that she's ever grown back for me.
Aw.
So,
She's so cute, though.
yeah. She likes to eat pinky mice, and sometimes she mistakes your fingers. Like, when you first go to get her out, she'll grab people. But she's a nice gecko. They're kind of heavier bodied in the middle than a crested, and they don't have all the crests and stuff.
Do they jump as much?
Not as much. Not as what I found. I have not seen these in the pet trade for several years now. I'm sure there's some. You could probably find them at the shows more, but for a little while we were able to get them pretty readily, and they seemed like they kind of went back out of style again, but she's really nice. I'd like to find a male someday. I like how her eyes are kind of pewter colored, but then the rest of her is kind of red colored.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to open your mouth at me.
She's
Hey,
laughing.
you be nice. She looks like a tokay right now.
Yeah, I saw you have a tokay up there.
Yeah. We have some people that have managed to tame theirs, which is pretty cool, but I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
Do you ever do giveaways or anything at the store? Or any kind of contests or anything?
We should. That would be cool to do. We should do that.
And someone wants to know, too, about the pyramiding on the tortoise shells, if there's anything to do to reverse that or fix it.
You can't reverse it, but you can prevent it from getting worse by giving them the right lighting, the right supplementation, the right diet. So it won't go away, but as they grow, it'll kind of even out a little bit. So it's always going to be that way, but you can prevent it for the future by changing the things that needs changed.
Like what kind of vitamins and stuff do you recommend to put on the foods?
The calcium, but you can't do too much because that can cause it too. They
With
need,
the D3 or?
I think the tortoises they do without D3 is what most people do now. The sulcatas and things that spend a lot of time out in the sun are going to need the higher UVB. But they're still not out in the desert sun all the time. They go into the burrows when it's really hot. So sometimes people give them too much UVB, and then that's going to cause issues too. So
You just kind of find the right balance for
yeah,
them.
that's why it's tricky. It's not, and there's a lot of controversy about it too. They used to say it was it was from UVB, and then they said it was from not UVB. And I have found that a lot of times it's from getting them to grow too fast, too much protein. We don't give a lot of protein to our redfoots. We do mostly dark leafy greens, and I think a lot of people get into the habit of giving their tortoises a lot of protein and fruits, and the fruits.
Iguanas too.
Oh yeah, they used to tell you with iguanas when I was a kid. They would tell you to do bilgejack. We still have people come ask for bilgejack kibble to give their iguana or cat food or dog food, and now they know that that's really not good for.
We
their
had
kidneys.
people coming into my store to get crickets and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
for them.
Yeah,
And that's all they would feed them. And I'm like, no, iguanas
No,
do not eat
way
crickets
too
all the
much
time.
protein.
They'll eat them, but they're not supposed to all the time.
Beyond hatchling size like this, like at that size, if we get them in that small, we'll feed them a few crickets here and there because that's the only time that they're really eating crickets.
Yeah,
in
and
the
they'll
wild.
get them off the leaves
Right,
and stuff
just
in
kind
the
of
wild.
accidentally, maybe a caterpillar here and there, but they're not seeking them out. And they taste good. I'm sure they're fatty, compared to greens. So, but yeah, we mostly do dark leafy greens, spring mix, dandelion greens that aren't sprayed are excellent. We do collard greens, kale. But yeah, dandelions are a big staple for a lot of our stuff in the summer. I just go out and pick it because we don't use any sprays at our house.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We used to feed ours the, what are the pink flowers?
Oh, hibiscus.
Yeah, hibiscus. They
Yeah.
grow everywhere over there in
Oh, I
Florida,
bet.
so we would just pick them all the time and put them in with the iguanas.
My hibiscus, that big plant up there is a tropical hibiscus, and then there's another one on the floor. I've had those growing for like 4 or 5 years. They were just little. Somebody gave them to me as
cool.
a gift, and so we give them the flowers too, and they really like them. People can eat them too.
Yeah, I've given the dandelions and stuff to Scout. Also,
Oh,
he'll
yeah.
eat them.
Yeah, lots of vitamins in dandelions. People can even eat them. You can saute them in a skillet like collard greens. What do you think, you big chunk? These guys don't need a lot of heat either. We keep them basically at room temperature because we keep it pretty warm here. And that one's empty. That's Dubia Roaches. And that's 2 female cresteds. I guess I could show you the female cresteds. Might as well.
Someone's like, I drink the tea. The dandelion tea.
Yeah.
Try that.
Dandelion tea is
Oh,
really...
those are so pretty.
Yeah, these are nice colored ones. This one's kind of... I don't even know what morph they are, but this one's kind of like a lavender and banana. And this one's probably a harlequin flame or something. Oh, that was
hello.
graceful.
She's as graceful as I am.
Just plop.
Right.
We took the male away from them because they were laying a lot of eggs, which would be a good thing, but I didn't want them to get too run down, so we took him and separated him out. It's unusual for females that have been breeding to have tails, and these...
That's cool.
Yeah. I wish they'd fire up. None of the cresteds... Sorry.
No, that's okay.
None of the
Didn't want
cresteds
them-
have been fired up. Where are you going, crazy? She's licking everything.
Their eyes are really cool too.
Yeah.
I love their eyes.
And they eat their skin too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep, they will eat every bit of their shed skin.
And it's supposed to be nutritional for them as well, right?
Yeah, they say it has vitamins and probably amino acids and things in it that they might have missed. Like some animals eat their poop to recover those things.
I remember seeing them, pick it off their eyeballs and eat
Oh,
it,
yeah.
all the skin,
Off
like
their
their eye
feet,
caps
like
and
a glove.
everything. Yep. It's like when you get a bad sunburn and you're just peeling it off,
I eat mine
except
too.
they eat it.
I need all my vitamins. Yeah, they're pretty nice. We'll probably put him back with the male in the spring. Where are you going?
We'll have to get Twiggy another friend.
Yeah, once you find out what it is, if it's a boy or girl.
We should be able to tell pretty soon.
Yeah. Yeah, ideally it'd be a female, because the females get along really well. The males, you don't want to put 2 males generally, because they'll grab tails, but
Yeah.
the breeder we got those from already had them together, so the tails are already gone and they get along.
Yeah.
But it's not something I would tell people from the beginning, oh, go ahead and get 2 males.
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, we figured, if anything, with that enclosure, to wait till it gets big enough to know if it's a boy or a girl.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
definitely.
mess with that.
Definitely.
Anything else you want to show us in here?
Ooh, I have the blood python. You want to see
Yeah, let's
him?
see the
He's-
blood python. You want me to come back there?
It's up to you.
Okay. Oh, you can get her out?
Yeah, I can get him.
I remember them not always being the nicest either.
They're
So
not. He's alright. He's my sister's snake. She got him from us when he was a hatchling. But I guess a lot of them have trouble feeding because where they export them out of, they usually are assist feeding all of the babies, kind of assembly line style. So a lot of them don't have a normal feeding response. He's kind of a spaz. His name is Jasper. Jasper. They're a very heavy-bodied python.
Yeah, they stay shorter but fatter around. So it's like the opposite of that snake, which stays a lot longer but skinnier looking.
This is
Yeah.
Jasper.
And that's full grown, right?
He'll probably get a little bit bigger. Being a male, he won't get as large as the females. I think the females will go about 8 foot. But this
He
is
thinks
boy.
he's a gaboon.
Yeah, he's a tank.
About how much do you think he weighs?
Not about that much. Maybe 5 pounds. Yeah, he's not super heavy.
5
like
pounds?
it would be.
That's got to be more than 5
I
pounds.
don't know. You could try. I don't know. I'm not a good guesser. Yeah, I mean, he weighs about as much as a cat. So maybe like 8 pounds. That'd probably be pretty accurate. What are you puffing about? He's decent for a blood python, but when he was younger, he had a lot of little spaz attacks. When you go to get him out, he'd kind of freak out. Not really bitey, but just being temperamental. You're okay. He's getting all anxious. You want to go back? They come in an
Here, we'll go
orange-headed
over
morph too, but he's the red morph, or not morph, I guess subspecies would be. I gotta figure out how to do this. You're not really built for climbing, huh, buddy? There you go. Yeah, this is where we're gonna build in all that. I'm gonna put in an enclosure from here all the way over and split it in two and maybe make it this tall and go all the way up to the ceiling with different snake enclosures that are built in.
That'll be
So
awesome.
It'll be like cabinet grade. Look really nice.
Yeah.
Plus it's more efficient to heat and things too. We have the heat mats under here, but it would be nice to have a little more climate controlled. And
Are there any reptiles that are really community based?
the firebelly toads tend to enjoy each other's company. And because they're from Japan, they don't need it super hot like a lot of tropical stuff. They're not South American or African like a lot of tropical stuff. So those can be kept in a group really nice. Most reptiles...
Beardeds can somewhat, right? I mean, as long as you don't have a bunch of males together and stuff.
Well, even a male and a female together, they're going to constantly try to breed. And then you've got a worn down female and a really kind of over aggressive, hyped up male. So I don't recommend keeping them together unless you're breeding them. I've seen people
Or just
do it.
babies, right?
Right, yeah. When they're babies, you can get away with it. And that's why the stores do it, because when they're little, they really do get along better. Here, step up. You're being a turd.
Well, it's like alligators and stuff. They do that too, right? They
Oh,
keep
yeah.
the babies around,
They
and
hang
then
out with
they
the
don't
mom.
care once they get to be adults as much.
Yeah.
They'll hang out, but not to be friendly.
Yeah, I think most reptiles, it seems like they tolerate each other. They don't usually seek each other out for company or pleasure of company. It's more like, well, this is the best heat source, and it's near the food, so we're all going to hang out here.
Yeah, if they get the food, we'll get some food out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's not like whereas birds and things, I mean, the frilled dragons, they don't seem to mind each other, but they also have a really big enclosure, so most of the time people are trying to cram something into a 10 or a 55, which aren't really that ideal.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of competition going on. There's communal spiders, the pink toes, you can keep those together sometimes. We've kept those in colonies successfully with no trouble. The emperor scorpions,
Oh,
we've
yeah.
kept in colonies.
Sometimes they'll eat each other, but for the most
Sometimes,
part,
yeah.
they'll get along.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and some of them seem to almost help each other with feeding the babies and stuff. I have a friend that breeds the emperor scorpions, and she's noticed a lot of really interesting maternal and paternal behaviors that I had no idea existed in animals like that, where they were actually caring for them and kind of herding them along together. And it's really interesting to see that.
What about the plated lizards? I want to see that guy. Can we
Yeah,
see him?
I
Or
can
is he
go
cool?
down.
I remember I used to have one that we couldn't sell at the shop that I worked at, and I used to feed them by hand all the time, and they were just so sweet.
They
So
really are cool. That one had a
they don't
tail
look as pretty as most of the other lizards,
They
but
kind of remind me of a blue tongue.
excuse me. Yeah, I guess that's true. They're a little bit like the blue tongue.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of them. We used to get those Russian legless lizards. Were pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, they look like snakes.
Yeah. It's okay, buddy. This guy had an injured tail when he came, and it's healed up quite a bit. Oh, you're okay. You're okay. He's kind of wiggling. But
Oh yeah, there we go. These are a little bit different.
there's so
The
many.
one that I saw is the one with the flatter head.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
There's so many different kinds of plated.
Yeah.
They have this weird like oops, okay, this like flap thing here on their neck.
Yeah, it goes all the way down their side, right?
Yeah. It's
And then
kind
they
of
can
like
puff up.
Yeah, like a little expansion joint.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of a spaz, we think, because
Yeah.
he didn't
that's
like me
good.
messing with
It's-
his injured
it's
tail.
good to keep them on a good schedule.
It's healing up.
Yeah, I
somewhat.
think it probably
From late
was injured by
October
another
to
skink
March
before we
is
got him. It
when
was kind of like a swollen area, but it seems like it's got a lot better. But it happens, you know, when they're wild caught, that's unfortunately not all of them can be captive bred or aren't.
Yeah, you can put him back so he's not scared.
Yeah, he's wiggling a lot. There you go, buddy. Go ahead.
Any monitors?
No, don't. Sometimes we have tegus and stuff. We don't do a ton with monitors. We'll special order them for people that really understand what they're getting into. We have two different people that have Asian water monitors that understood what they were getting into, so we went ahead and did it. But it was after like a year of them doing research and planning and understanding all of the things about them. But yeah, I don't do a ton with them. We have a few customers that have savannas from us and stuff, but I like monitors. We had a gorgeous red tegu. It was a female about that long. She got a home a year ago. That was another nice one. Tegus are cool. But yeah, they're kind of seasonal too. You see a lot of them. I think it's springtime. You see a lot of them. This time of year, I was going to get some savannas, but they were big. And those aren't captive bred them. If you're getting them right now and they're this big, it's a wild caught, so it's not real desirable to me. I want something that's going to be friendly that people can actually handle.
You dealt with the black throats?
No, I haven't personally. But there's a lot of beautiful monitors, but they just get so big.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing that you don't really have them a lot, because a lot of people will see them and think they're so cool because they get big, but not
Niles are a dime a
realize.
dozen. You can find them almost anywhere.
Yeah, but they bite too.
Oh yeah.
All the
It's a
time.
Massive reptile. Yeah, the baby balls. We try to not. That's my bird. He thinks he's talking.
Yeah, they want to see the chatty bird.
Oh yeah.
So we'll
yeah.
go over there in a minute. We'll
Sure.
go look at him.
Yeah, he usually will let me. He's funny with people. Well, this one's kind of cool, I guess. That's an enchi.
Okay.
So it's not a normal. It's kind of a different. I used to breed a lot of the ball pythons, but I just haven't had as much time in more recent years. Here's a really nice one.
How it's been lately.
Yeah, that one's really pretty.
Okay.
Nice little snake. But I don't breed as much as I used to because I just don't really have the time to do it correctly, large scale anymore. If I'm not going to do it right, then I don't want to do it. I can do it anytime. Just I don't really want it. Oh, the hermits. You can see them.
Yeah, we were looking for them before, but I didn't want to pull the tank open, so.
These guys, these are all purple pinchers, but sometimes you'll see in the trade Ecuadorians and things. Not all of these shells are crabs. There's a huge amount of extra shells in here.
Yeah, I
which is
was
good.
talking earlier about how they will come out of their shells and people think that they're dead.
Yeah.
And then they'll throw them out, but they're actually just molting.
Yeah, and if you don't leave them alone while they're molting, they'll usually die too, because if you dig them up, they're just so fragile it can kill them. And a lot of people don't realize that aquarium gravel type setup you see places is completely wrong. And they ideally need 80 degrees, 80% humidity is what you want to strive for. And they can live 30, 40 plus years. Hi.
Okay. Yeah, it could have been just.
But
the
they,
way you suggested it.
And they're very social. They're not a hermit at all. So people have to understand they need to give them more space and they need to have some company to feel comfortable. And the biggest killer of them is definitely the heat issue, because they sell them with those little wire cages or...
It's coming out now.
Yeah, those little beady eyes. They usually don't pinch unless they feel like they're going to fall, and then they'll grab on, but usually they don't. Yeah, they're really cool.
And they'll climb up trees and stuff too, right?
Oh, yeah. You just have to watch, because if they fall from too high, then they can actually kind of shatter inside of their shell. They can break legs and stuff.
And do they grow them back?
They do, yeah, but sometimes if it's too much of a trauma, they'll just die, and it won't happen immediately. Like, there's been times we've got a shipment, and I can tell that the whole box had been dropped or something, because they'll just start going downhill so much and losing limbs, and you know that something traumatic happened. Yeah, but they're such a nice little creature. Yeah, there's probably about twice as many shells in there as crabs, which is what you want. For selling them, it's not ideal because it's like crab roulette every time you want to get one out, but they like it. It's good for them. And we give them access to saltwater and freshwater. We just use saltwater out of our tanks. There's some species that need saltwater all the time, like Ecuadorians, but usually we don't have Ecuadorians. So.
Are there any that live inside the water?
Oh yeah, right. In fact, there's one that. Did you need help with anything? No. Okay.
Yeah, because I remember, like, I used to have the little tiny ones that went all over the coral and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if we can keep the connection here for a second, since we're right by the door.
I don't know where he's at. There's one in here that actually a police officer found at the beach. They didn't know. There's none in there because he'll eat them. There's one. It's a shell from the beach because they got engaged and they wanted this special shell. Aww. And it was 4 days later on Thanksgiving. He's like, "There's a crab in this shell." So they brought it down and we've had him ever since. Yeah. But yeah, I can see if Rocky will let me hold him. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely get that.
He's still talking over here.
Yeah, I don't even know what he's saying. We've always wondered, like, maybe he's not speaking English because it kind of sounds like an answering machine or something, but not. It doesn't sound like anything that I know what it would be. Come here, Rock. When we got him, his beak was all the way down to his chest. Come here, buddy.
He's the one that's been talking and yelling?
Yeah, he thinks he's talking.
Leave him with Luna for a little bit. We'll teach him to howl.
There you go. Yeah,
Just not the foxes, because then he'll be screaming even more. He's going to scream and scream.
Stop being a jerk. Just come here so I can cuddle you. There. Old man. You're showing off. You have big wings.
How old did you say he was again?
He's
40?
in his 40s. Yeah, and he's, when I got him, his beak was all the way down here, and it started wearing a hole. Because the people weren't getting it done, and they didn't have anything to chew on. And he had a bad diet, too, so his beak was
because they keep growing, right?
Oh, yeah, they keep growing like a fingernail. And his nails, too, he's got 3 on that foot. Let me see. Oh, I think he's got 2 missing on that foot. But they were all the way around like corkscrews because they weren't getting done, so... he never really came out of a cage, so now we don't keep him in a cage at all because he's really good anyway. He doesn't really have much desire to explore. Every once in a while we'll come in and we won't see him and you call him and he goes...
I'm putting his head down for you to
pet
him.
He wants me to scratch him. We'll come in and he's gone and you're like, "Rocky," and he goes, "Rah-rah," and then you know where he's at, so he'll just kind of... He doesn't usually go anywhere. He can fly. But I don't clip him because of his bad diet, the vet felt that his bones were probably weak. So, and especially being older, we worry about if he were clipped and he hit the ground, he could crack his sternum or break other bones. So we don't clip him just for his own safety in that way. When we take him out anywhere, like to the vet, he goes in a carrier, so it's not really an issue of him escaping or anything.
He loves that.
Oh, yeah. He's got new feathers coming in, so he wants me to help him. You see, Josh?
Do they switch their feathers out like the other animals when it gets cold out?
Yeah, about twice a year, birds will molt, usually spring and fall. But sometimes, like he's molting right now. It's probably just, they get a little messed up from our time frame with our lighting and stuff, so he's probably just a little behind. Maybe because he's older too. Seems a little late to be getting new feathers. Yeah, he loves that. Yeah, we had to get him to the vet to get his beak shaped a few times because, and even now it's not quite shaped correctly, but he has old man bird beak. When they get older, their beak kind of becomes not as pretty and fancy. It kind of gets more, a little bit rougher looking. How you doing?
Well, you're new employee. I haven't seen you down here in so long. How you doing?
Oh, good, good.
You can take care of them if you need
Okay,
to.
you need crickets? Okay, how many?
I'm gonna need crickets and stuff too before I go, because I gotta feed the tarantula. There's an iguana. Somebody was asking if there were any iguanas. There's a blue iguana. This one is not for sale though. It's for her. It's hers. You can see the big tank it's in.
Caden said he was eating earlier.
Oh, he was down there eating?
In the bowl.
Yeah, there's his greens left over. Let's see if the crested's out yet. Oh, there he is. I found him. He's on the glass now.
The big head.
Yeah, and it's probably easier to see the big salamander, the tiger. There he is. He looks like a big gummy bear. And the gecko is right up here. Yeah, and look at his pattern too.
Yeah, he's really pretty.
And the redfoots are, well, there's one of them back there. Oh, she's gonna get him out for us.
Cherry crickets? Yeah. Oh, you don't matter? Yeah. She's been doing some,
Hey, if any of you guys are watching, let me know if it's working on you now, because I tried to set that up as well, but I don't know if that stream worked right. That's a pretty one.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. She needs 100 large.
Alright, hey, be good. See you later.
Take care.
Good seeing you.
See ya.
See you later.
Yeah, he's got a nice shell. We also don't recommend using the wax and oil products on their shells, just plain water.
Just these guys or all of them?
Any tortoise, yeah, we don't even sell it. It can clog up their shells and cause issues with that, so we recommend just using misting and plain water.
That's funny, they used to sell that to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they a lot of places still do.
I just use a toothbrush and water.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
In the wild, nobody's waxing them. It's just not good for their pores.
Well, they wouldn't in the wild.
Right. There's just water on them. There's no need for them to look wet all the time. It's
And
just...
they'll get in water sometimes too, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
if you
yeah.
have a bowl big enough?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Isn't that
there's
like an
that
easier
little
way to
ramp.
keep them clean?
Yeah, they'll get in there and soak. And you can soak them too, and it's just, we keep them on the peat moss so they kind of get mossy a little bit. And he's a beast. And he's got the concave, it's got me hooked with his foot.
Yep,
This
that's
is how
one
we
way
know
to
it's a boy.
tell it's a male.
Plus the tail length, he's got the longer tail, so the little one is just now big enough that we believe it's a female. So pretty soon we're probably going to need to separate them so he doesn't try to, he would probably hurt her. They couldn't breed at that size, but I just don't want him to hurt her. So I was thinking of putting her in there maybe.
Where are these guys from?
South America.
And then the one other place we haven't really looked at where you haven't shown is the not the rodents, the fluffy guys.
Oh, the small animals, sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's probably people that want to see them.
Yeah, they're asking about ferrets, and
Oh goodness.
we saw the hairless guinea pigs though.
Yes, oh yeah, we did have them.
He's yelling again.
He does that while I'm here. He doesn't really do it if I'm not here. All right.
Here's the ferrets. They're passed out.
Oh yeah. They're dead. Everybody needs to come tell us the ferrets are dead. At least their heads, usually their heads are hanging out.
Yeah, I got a video a little bit ago of him dangling his head.
This one's a little girl. She's tiny.
Hi.
Hello, little weasels. I love her black nose. You're gonna chew on me.
Aww.
Yes, I know.
And what do you recommend for these guys when people are looking to get them as pets?
They definitely... We stopped carrying them for about a year because I got tired of seeing so many of them neglected. We had a couple of them come back that basically we had to just send a rescue because they were in such bad shape from being neglected. But they sleep a lot. They sleep like 22 hours a day, but when they are active, they need interaction. They're not hard to keep happy. But they need to have a special diet. We recommend grain-free cat food. We just had someone recently have a very sick ferret because they were giving it a cheap cat food that had a lot of corn in it. They have a really short digestive tract, so what they are eating needs to be very nutrient-rich and protein-rich, or it won't give them what they need. So this ferret was eating every day, but it was emaciated because it wasn't getting enough protein.
It's going in your hair.
Oh, I know. They're so wiggly. But, and the females tend to be more active and playful. The males tend to be more relaxed and laid back. The males tend to get a little bigger. Usually 3 or 4 pounds is pretty average. A female usually 1 to 3 pounds. So a lot of people will get a male and a female because then you kind of get best of both worlds. You get the smaller one that's more crazy, and then the bigger one that's more of a cuddler.
What about if they have like cats and dogs?
You really got to watch dogs with them because they look like a toy. So, but a lot of dogs will get along really well with them, and they get along pretty good with cats. They're very cat-like. A lot of cats have fun playing with them, and vice versa. The toys that they play with are cat toys usually. They like to carry around little mice and things.
Do you ever feed them bugs?
I haven't, no. I know people that feed theirs, that have given theirs mice and things like that, but
Or like mealworms and
yeah, I guess
any
you
of that?
could. Yeah, I've never really thought about doing that. It might be something interesting. I gave a hedgehog a frozen thawed pinky once, and it was a really bad. It was gross. It anointed with it. Hedgehogs do this thing called self-anointing, where if they like something smell or taste, they'll basically salivate that all over their body. So it opened up this pinky mouse, and then it just threw it all over itself, and it was really gross.
Don't they do some of that for their quills too?
Yeah, they say it might help with if they ate something kind of toxic, then it would.
Yeah, like the
give them a
bacteria
defense.
gives them a
Right, yeah, it would
defense.
give them a defense maybe, but yeah. And then teddy bear hamsters or Syrian hamsters. Teddy bear is really just the pet trade name, but these are more siblings to that one we saw earlier. They're the satin. They've got the kind of interesting polar bear hair. They sleep all day, so right now this is kind of like, hey, why are you waking us up? And these are guys that have been born here, so they get handled a lot. But hamsters have really poor eyesight, so they get scared easy. A lot of people don't realize. These are Campbell's Dwarf cross mutt dwarf hamsters. These are more little guys. They're probably about 5 weeks old or so. Hello. And sometimes dwarfs get a bad reputation for being bitey, but they're all individuals, but we try to handle them from the time they're little, and they're pretty nice. I've seen some that were like a cage of piranhas, where you put your hand in them and they're hanging off of your fingers. And then these are robos, which are
That's funny.
the Rover Vincies, which are little tiny guys. They don't get any bigger. They're super fast.
Aww.
So they're a little harder to tame, but they're very friendly. They tend to not be very aggressive at all, but they're so little that makes them kind of quick. Hey, you're chewing on me. I just
They
said
kind
you
of
don't do
almost
that.
look like gerbils.
Yeah.
just with the stumpy face.
Right, and they have little eyebrows. They remind me of schnauzers.
Oh yeah.
They have funny little white eyebrows. Hi guys. Yeah, and they're full grown. When their babies are weaned, they're only like that big. They're so tiny.
Aww.
Come here. Ah, they're too fast. But they're really nice. They're not bitey. They're just tiny. So they're kind of hyper.
You got rats in there.
Yeah, the pet rats. We've always got. I think there's. Let's see. Come here. Oh, I thought there was a dark-eyed white out here, but I guess it's albino. These are like a mask, I guess you'd call it. We had a dark-eyed white that was really pretty. It was all white with black eyes, but she got a home. I think these were actually ones that somebody had a litter of babies, and then they were going to feed them to a snake, and then they didn't want to do it, so we ended up with all these little half-weaned baby guys. But
So it's all pretty much hand raised at this point because you guys hold them all the time.
oh
and stuff.
yeah, they all get handled. I mean, they're still a rodent, so they're still going to be nervous, but those are the guineas, boys and girls, because guinea pigs can breed at 5-6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Which isn't good for them, obviously, so we keep ours gender separated. Little chocolate dog. Yeah, they can breed really early, and it can kill the female. You do have to breed them before they're 6 months, because it has something to do with their pelvis. They used to say it fuses, but really it just more solidifies. And if you wait too long, rabbits are this way too, then they can have trouble with birthing. So if we keep any to breed, we try to breed them around 5 months old. So.
What about that guy down there?
Oh, he's a male he's by himself because he was a little bit bigger than the other males, and he was doing some dominance humping. So he's really nice, but we just didn't want him to stress out the babies. Oh, you're okay, goodness.
He's like, you woke me up.
Yeah, I startled him. He's like, you smell like a ferret. Ferrets are not good with small rodents. They have a high prey drive, and they will definitely try to kill small rodents and things. So the fact that I smell like a ferret is probably not good.
Cool.
Any
Thank
other
you for
questions
showing
from
us,
anyone?
though.
Yeah, no problem.
The shop's really cool. Everybody really loves it.
Well, thank you. We'll have to do it again. We'll have to come up with some question and answers and maybe focus on some things. We kind of got a broad view today. So that's good. Kind of see what we're about.
Wait, did I ask you if you had chinchillas or if you get them?
We
No.
do. We usually have, we had a couple down here for a while. It was a bonded pair of males. We try to sell them as a bonded pair because they have a really long lifespan. So, and if you try to introduce them later, a lot of times they won't get along. So we try to do bonded same-sex pairs. And right now, all I have is I have 1 male and 4 females that are back there that I keep because they could have babies anytime. So we don't have any right now. But
Yeah, all right. Thanks for showing us again. I'll end the stream here so
right,
that way we
bye.
can talk for a little bit and then
Sounds
everyone
good.
see you guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys hanging out this whole time for the view, and make sure you go to our Facebook page and like it as well. And I'll see you guys later.